Next up, we have Viper, full version by F-777 from featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a Layman-Friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what is happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, 10,000 subscribers, we're going to do the video game of the choice of the community. The video game of the choice of the community. Members get early access, artists, let's collaborate, have a spiel for this and a whole other things at the end of the video, including how to request songs if you're not in the live stream. So stick around for that. Disclaimers showing on your screen right now, so go ahead and pause the video if you want to read them in full. Otherwise, let's do this. Viper, let's go. We start with our initial motif. Motif being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from. And this one gets interrupted by dubstep whoop whoop. That's what I call the bassiness, the bassy dubstep kind of thing that you get. And of course, we are engaging in repetition. We are having the motif basically having two separate endings with octave displacement. Those from the previous video. So octave displacement is a way to develop material in which you displace which octave something happens in. So an octave is what we call the eighth note of a scale. Usually scales are 7 notes, the eighth one being when you start the scale over. Let's take, for example, the scale of C major, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Then you go back to C, it's the eighth note, which is back to the start, the octave. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And the higher you go, the further right you go, the higher it's going to sound. The further left you go, the lower it's going to sound. And octaves just going to keep going as far as the instrument has range. One of the instruments that we have, of course, the piano, which has pretty much the entire range of notes, pretty much. So we have this kind of stuff. So let's say, for example, we have the key of C major, as I said, which is just the white keys on the keyboard. Oh. I am not a piano player. So we have this going on, and let's say we have a very simple melody, right? Let's say we have C to D to E to G. So let's say we have this as a very simple motif. Now, octave displacement means that we are going to displace which octave the notes happen, but we are still going to play the notes in the same order. We're just going to change which octave they happen. And in this case, what we are doing is we are changing an ending. We're having like first and second ending. So the first time around, we're going to be doing C, D, E, and G in this order. Then second time, C, D, E, and then G down here. We're going to change which octave this happens in. So in this case, the original, of course, sounds like this. And the next one, which is the octave displacement, that is octave displacement, and of course you can do whatever combinations you want. As long as you are still playing the same notes in the same order, technically it still counts as octave displacement. A track that I love when it comes to the octave displacement, is a really good example of octave displacement, is Goat by Polyphia. This is one of the clearest examples of octave displacement I've ever heard. The track starts with this like kalimba music box kind of thing with the original melody, and then the guitars pop in and it starts with octave displacement and a couple of extra adornments. Really, really, really cool stuff. So yeah, let's see where this goes. There we go. We have variation of the motif with the whoop whoop. So we're adding little variations. We have a second. So I think we have a second melody now, giving us what sounds to be a little bit of counterpoint. It could be a doubling. I think it's a doubling just happening higher up. Doubling being when you play the same thing on a different instrument at the same time. I think these are doublings. So let's see where this goes. So we are also introducing other variations of the motif. We have the first half of the motif, which seems to be our actual motif, and the second half of the phrase, of the melody phrase, which becomes the part that we end up putting the variations in. This is very common when it comes to melodies, because usually melodies, you can make a melody out of several motifs, and different motifs, of course, which one is going to be your main one is up to you, but you can have your motif plus developing material. And that is usually how you're going to have. Usually melodies are going to be composed of this kind of stuff, several different parts that make phrases. And then full phrases can come into different melodies, different structures for melodies. They can vary a lot. These are very subjective. Let's see where this goes. So, all right, okay, so now we have a couple variations. Okay, so we bring in the drums. We are adding more variation to we're adding more variation. We're keeping the main motif pretty much untouched so far, but we are adding more stuff around it, mainly for texture. And of course the drums come in, completely changing the feeling of the track. It's been so long since I've been able to mention this one. I have to do this. It just goes to show how important your accompaniment, your drums are. If you want to listen to the track where this happens in a more exaggerated way, listen to the intro of the Mirror by Dream Theater. The Mirror by Dream Theater, the intro has the guitar doing the exact same thing for a full minute straight. Jung, 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 jung. 1 minute, which is called an ostinato, by the way. Ostinato is when you repeat something over and over and over and over again, which is what is happening with the motif over here. So, ostinato on the guitar, and then the drums, the bass, the synths, they start changing around it little by little. Not little by little, they change around the guitar. And there's points when it's genuinely difficult to tell that it's still the same guitar. The guitar is doing the exact same thing. So right now, to a less extreme extent, we are seeing this happening. Let's see where this goes. Ooh, so we are also engaging in rhythmic displacement, as opposed to octave displacement, rhythmic displacement. Usually rhythmic displacement means you're pushing something back or you're rushing something up when it comes to your rhythm. In this case, we're adding a little bit more whoop-whoopness, more whoop-whoop bass to the in between the different phrases of the melody, so that we can add more and more EDM feel to this thing. Let's see where it goes. Alright, we bring in now a solo-like melody, variation of the motif. So now we bring a new variation of the melody and the motif, in which instead of waiting for the whoop-whoopness and the second half, we're basically playing it now back-to-back repetition, engaging in a more ostinato-like structure. Let's see where this goes. Really cool moment of going off the ramp. We go off the ramp. Off the ramp is a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial, by that I mean there's no official academic definition for this, or at least I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. And off the ramp is what I call a type of transition that makes your listener feel suspended up in the air at the mercy of inertia, waiting to see where you land, kind of like going off a ramp. How do you do that? Remove the drums, maybe the bass as well, or as many layers as you want to keep that sense of suspense going. Let's see where this goes. Oh, we add a little bit more rhythm there. And we drop the beat. And we just do the same drums we were doing before, but without the motif being in the forefront. And it just changes everything. Well played. Well played. Let's see where this goes. And of course we're adding more effects in between as well, but it's the same effects we were doing before. Oh. Variation of the motif now in this instrument, a little bit higher. We bring another synth in the back, holding some chords, kind of like an ambient synth, just holding down the chords. Very nice. Let's see. Okay. building up more for another loop. So right now, basically, not much has changed. Right now, we're just doing that ostinato. We have taken the motif up higher in the range, and we are building up. As you can hear that synth that is just going straight up for the build up. This is something that that electronic music gets away with, where other genres don't really have. When you're making music, you are doing one of two things: you are building tension, or you're resolving that tension. That point in between we usually call cadence. Cadence is usually something that is built up in your harmony. When you have music, you have three components: melody, harmony, and rhythm. Your melody, of course, being your individual horizontal lines of music. There's a lot that goes into that. Rhythm being the use of time, when things happen, how fast things happen, your drum beat, the tempo, that kind of stuff. But harmony is the most extrapolated and meta out of all three. This one is what notes you're using, what scales you get out of the notes, what chords you get out of those scales, what scales you get out of the chords, the relationship between them, the relationship between the different sets, and you can just keep extrapolating over and over and over again. However, your harmony is usually going to involve what is called a chord progression, which is how you're usually going to build your cadence. Your cadence is going to be used when you have your root chord. Let's say we have C major, which is then going to the dominant chord, back to the root chord. That creates the cadence. So if we were to do, for example, a 1-6-2-5, right? We have the tension here. We have built tension, which is then resolved. This is the cadence, which then resolves back to 1. Electronic music says, nah, don't wanna. Let's just grab a synth, and to build that tension, let's just have the notes start low and do a straight line to the high, to the tension. Then we have a little moment of pause, and we drop the beat. And it works. And it works, which is what we're building up for right now. Let's see where it goes. Alright. Bit of extra. Okay, we take a twist that I was not expecting. It takes a twist that it looks like that Lethal Roller Coaster. You mean the ones made by Let's Game It Out? Yes. So we now bring the, instead of dropping the beat super bombastic, we fade everything back. We obfuscate everything, and we're now building back. So it's kind of like a fake, like a false drop. We're doing the same drop that we were doing before. We've just obfuscated the sound. Let's see where this goes. Oh, it was a false drop. We're building more. We're building for the actual drop. And in this case, this would be a false drop, or if we were to be talking in pure academic terms, technically speaking, this is a deceptive resolution. Or deceptive cadence. Deceptive resolution, deceptive cadence means that you do not resolve where the expectation is built. Because cadence, the tension, it creates expectation. If I were to play again the 1-6-2-5, right? So it creates the expectation that we would then go back. However, a deceptive resolution means that you don't do that. You go somewhere else. So if we were to do this, and we resolve anywhere else that is not C, it becomes a deceptive resolution. That is what we've done over here, but in EDM terms, in which case in EDM it would just be you're doing a false drop. You don't fully drop the beat, and what that creates, if we were to bring it back to our little chart, right? Excuse me. There we go. If you were to bring it here, we would have that tension, and instead of resolving all the way, we create even more tension. We create a false sense of resolution that immediately builds up to more tension, and then the resolution ends up being even stronger in this one. That is usually the point of a deceptive cadence, deceptive resolution, or in this case, a false drop. Let's see where it goes. Ooh, we bring this. So we completely bring a different rhythm. Now let me go back a couple of seconds so that I can hear it. Let's hear how it's resolved. Okay, so it resolves, and we bring now... So we resolve this not by dropping the beat, but by introducing a new beat altogether. We have a new synth giving us... Let me hear a bit more. Yeah, this is accompaniment. This is mainly... There's no main melody here, I think. Very nice beat, very contrasting, and overall the structure of this motif still kind of fits. So it is a variation. It's mainly the rhythm that has changed over here. This is really good. So yeah, let's see where it goes. Now we're engaging in cutting things down. We're building again tension. Let's see where we go. Let's see what we do. And we bring back, we drop straight to the original motif with the whoop whoop. This is really, really, really good way of connecting. And second version, I believe, second variation, or first variation of the motif. So we have this now on top of, we now bring this version that loops onto itself, into the old. So we're layering these two ideas together, and it's sounding really well. Let's see where this goes. Alright, we build up more. We have that little moment off the ramp, and dropping the beat same way we did before. Alright. Elimination, welcome today. How you doing? Yeah, we're getting all the... And we now bring the second section that we did over here, the false drop, into the dropping of the beat. We bring this into this beat drop. We still have a minute and a half left. That's a long time. Let's see where it goes. All right. This variation, nice. Off the ramp completely. How are we gonna land this? Oh, full variation, okay. Yeah, I do see one glaring issue with this track, which is, I don't know how the hell F-777 pulled this off. The material is repeating a lot. Like, we're repeating the same material a lot, but at the same time, we're not exploring the material enough. I don't know how I don't know how else to put it. So this is very risky moves that we're pulling off over here. It's very intense. Some of these cadences aren't fully landing the way that we would want them, like the false drop over here that leads into another false drop that leads into a non-cadential drop, so to speak. Like, the landing is a little too smooth. You know how it's different for you to land a jump if you go up and back down as opposed to if you jump and then right at the apex you land in a platform that is raised. This is how it felt, this second one, that we were expecting the drop to go all the way down, but we stayed up a little bit. I think that might be the biggest issue over here. That false drop over here that did not lead to a drop, but it led into a new rhythm being introduced, a new motif being introduced. I think if that had led to the drop that we're having right now, we flipped those two around, that might have worked a little bit better. Yeah, this is older material, so I'm pretty sure F-777 would probably agree with the criticism. Like, this sounds experimental in that sense. So he was messing with that, and it didn't work out as much as it could have. It happens. It happens. I'm not gonna hold it against it. Like, 13 years ago, you messed up in this half of in seconds, number 210 through 245. You didn't resolve it properly. No, it happens. You know, it happens. He published it, so he liked it at the time. I just see how that would not work as well as the rest of the material has. So let's just see where it goes. It could benefit from being shorter. I do think that the inclusion of this second idea, which is a couple of degrees of separation too separated from the original idea, might have worked against the piece as well. So it is feeling like it drags in that sense. It's still good, like the sounds are insanely good. I think that might be another issue here. Let's see where it goes. Let's do this. Because yeah, this motif right here, it's a good motif. It's a good rhythm. But here is where we go in the terms of what I usually say. When you're making music, you want a careful balance between what is familiar and what is new. Too much familiarity, too much of the same thing, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. We've repeated the same ideas with very little variation. Too much new material too quickly, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. And the problem with this phrase over here that we're hearing is that the material is a little too new and the contrast is a little too stark. The whiplash is way too stark and it doesn't quite land the way we would hope for. Because sometimes you have this kind of, you have these kinds of contrast and it works perfectly, right? Like it works perfectly. Like one of the best ways that you can, in my opinion, you can resolve a very, very loud cadence, very dramatic cadence is not by being bombastic, but by being quiet. That kind of contrast happens. It sounds like F-777 experimented here. He was happy with it at the time, enough to publish it, and it just doesn't hit as hard as some of the tracks that we know that he can do now. I am not going to hold that against him. So, yeah. Anyway, let's see where this goes. Okay, we repeat this phrase again. Still off the ramp. We're still waiting. And we immediately go for a very fast build-up. And there we go. This... yeah, we could have cut 1 minute. If we had cut 1 minute before this, if this had been the drop, you ended with this. This is really good. Oh, this is really good. Now we're bringing all the material together. This is a climax. This is really good. There you go, and one more to set the resolution, building more, and there we go. We have the phrase, we resolve it, and now it has white noise, and it resolves, and there you go. So yeah, like the material itself is good. I just think it was the way that it was structured that ended up working against it, which, you know, it happens. It happens. Like, I think if you swap some of the orders around this, you can still get away with the full 5-minute track, and you get away with it. But there you go. There you go. That was Viper by F-777, featured in Geometry Dash, is my understanding. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this in the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member. Once again, everybody, thank you for 7,000 subscribers at the time of recording. We recently passed it. Once again, thank you so much. If we somehow hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube before Christmas of 2025, on top of doing the fanfiction audiobook, I will also play a video game of the choice of the community, whatever y'all want, live on stream. We'll make a full stream out of that, within terms of service, of course. We're also probably going to do giveaways and whatnot. Yes. This has to be achieved through legitimate and honest means only. No account duping, no account duping, no botting, no buying followers, no accounts, no rat behaviors like that. Go share the videos, the streams with your friends, with your families, with your family's friends, with your friends' families. Those are two very distinct concepts, by the way. With your online and offline communities, go share these videos far and wide. And no, that was not a voice correct. That was a blurp, like a user-controlled soundboard. Yes, with your online and offline community, also use the hype function on YouTube. We have a group up on the Discord that coordinates for that. Link down below, go coordinate with them. And yes, artists, F777 or otherwise, let's collaborate. I am giving an open invitation if you want any of my musical skills, whether it is my guitars, my Mongolian throat singing, the good old regular singing, voice acting, whatever it is, reach out, let me know, let's make it work. If you're in the audience and you know any artists that could benefit, let them know. Please do not harass anyone. Please do not spam anyone. Be cool about things. Don't be a rat. Members get early access to the content. I schedule the videos for the week on Saturdays, and if you're a paid member on YouTube, regardless of your tier, you'll also get access to the videos when I schedule them, at least when it comes to the LFAs. So become a member today. If you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3.5 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, check the pinned comment. It has the instructions on what to do. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. If you are not in Europe, do not worry. We have the full up-to-date streaming schedule showing in your local time zone in both Discord and Twitch. Both are linked down below. So if you live in Chichicastenango and you're like, yeah, but what time is 6 p.m. in Hungary? I don't live there. Do not worry. We have the full up-to-date schedule in your local time zone, Discord, Twitch. Both are linked down below. And follow the gaming channel. I have a gaming channel because of course I have a gaming channel. I'm on YouTube. What else could I possibly have? Games are Basterd. That's where I put the gaming after show recordings when they happen. We record them live on stream and then the recordings go there. And link down below, or just search on YouTube, same username as James R. Basterd. Just sub the J for a G and you got it. And yeah, there you go. Viper F-777. Oh, it's still good. Good stuff. But yeah, let's move on.